Father, you loved us out of nothing and gave us a reason for being. You sought us when we hid and clothed us to stop our shivering. You formed a family out of barrenness and welcomed us into it.
You sent your Son to find us after we squandered our inheritance.
And you poured your Spirit in us so that life would reign over death.
But despite these and 1,000 other graces, we have fallen short once again.
We have sinned against you and what we have done, and in what we have left undone.
We confess our capacity to deceive and our willingness to be deceived, our tendency to love things and use people,
our addiction to comfort and our clamor for privilege, our readiness to criticize and our reluctance to apologize, our silence at injustice and the numbing of our conscience, and our fearful search for security at the expense of love.
With humility, we ask you to forgive us for claiming so much for ourselves that we have little room for gratitude.
For confusing self-importance with self-worth, for allowing our calendars to distract us from obedience, for permitting our integrity to be swept away by the flood of ambition,
for letting criticism cast us into compromise,
for surrendering our attention to the whims of our screens,
and for allowing our desires to be shaped by algorithms.
We ask you to expose us to the abrasiveness of your grace, so that we can be emptied of gnawing dissatisfactions, freed from nagging prejudices,
startled by our own selfishness, stripped of any sense of superiority, released from illusions of independence, awakened to love that remains unused,
and ashamed of the words, "It's somebody else's problem."
We confess these sins knowing that in your mercy, you will blot out our betrayals and bid us to get up and walk toward your promised future, when all things will be mended and the scarred hands of Jesus will embrace us. Amen.